Good morning. Monday morning, time to start yoga. Feel yourself ground, heavy in the hips. I bow to the rishis, yogis, and yoginis that came before us. With their guidance and grace, let's begin this practice. Cat-cows. I'll bring it closer with the candle here. Don't bother with tripods and all that so early. I'm just doing this for fun, not getting paid or anything, so I don't really care too much. Just want my friends to do yoga. It's Monday, first day of this new year. It's really a reason to move that spine. I have friends that are 25 that cannot bend over a yoga block. That means that their lifespan is shortened. The flexibility of your spine determines how long you can live. So keep those spines strong and flexible. Strong, most of all. Flexibility will come with the strength. Being flexible without being strong is very dangerous, though. It's what I've had to work on throughout my entire yoga career. It's why I became the teacher I am, because I needed to get rid of the pain. Side stretch. Pressing the head into the floor. Warming up the spine, warming up the hips. My hips need it. I don't know about yours. My hips need opening. Stretching. Feels so good. Pelvis to the floor. You can start down. Start low. Lift your chest. Inhale as you press. Try to get a little more lift. Really pulling your chest through your arms. Space between in your neck. And lifting yourself a little more with the arms bent so that you're not jamming your neck. It's never good to jam your neck. Straight arms only in handstand. Unless you're, you want to be fully engaged. You don't need straight arms here. You need to be pulling your chest through your arms. Look over your shoulder at each foot to feel the flexibility of your neck while you're in this pose. Good. Lifting your hips high in the air. Settling into your legs in this pose feels so good. On your spine. And love adjusting my spine in this pose just by being in it. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm just doing this for myself with a live on, so forgive me if you can't hear me. I'm just doing this so you do yoga with me. Do your own practice. Do what feels good in your body. Down dog. Learn to feel what feels good in your body. I like to start a low undulé because I like to really open that bottom hip flexor. Sitting so much. It's tight. So tight. So tight. I just like to open it. Just open that hip flexor on the bottom before I come up. And then slide your knee a little forward, keeping the front foot down as you come up. Low lunge. Anjalayasana. Switch. Moving with your breath as you inhale. Exhale, foot forward. Again, that stretch of that front hip flexor. Make sure you're working your shoulders on your back body while you're doing this, though. Otherwise, you could be injuring your shoulders without even realizing it. That's what I do all the time in my sleep. So silly. Oh yeah, that hip flexor is so tight. It feels so good just to open it. Being gentle and careful so you don't hurt yourself. Just feeling it opening without even putting any pressure on anything. You just feel it open. I sure feel it open anyway. Slide your knees slightly forward and keep that front foot down. Coming up into a low lunge. And I always bring my arms into a cactus to feel the shoulder blades on my back body because I have shoulder issues. So I want to work my shoulder blades on my back body as much as possible before I do anything else with them. I just want to feel the shoulder blades on my back body so that when I do something else with them, my shoulder blades are on my back body when I do it. Because that's what the problem is, not having your shoulders engaged while you're doing things with your shoulders and arms. People think it's in the front. No, it's all stemmed from not using the strong muscles on your back. It might hurt in the front because your front part is a weakness. You got to work those shoulder blades to get rid of that front pain. Couple breaths in down dog. And come into plank. Holding plank, feeling those shoulder blades on your back body while you're in plank. Instead of going up, go down. So you sink into those shoulder blades on your back. Keeping the abdomen lifted. As you exhale, come down into chaturanga. Bring your pelvis to the floor and lift that chest. Your chest never needs to touch the floor if you're doing it correctly. If you're doing chaturanga, building your muscle, should never fall to the floor. That's weakness. You want to stay engaged, using those muscles. You might have to do some lazy movements until you build the muscle, but know that those are not correct. Keep doing it, and eventually will become habit to use your muscles. Look between your hand and step or jump between your hands with your feet. Feet hip width apart to start, allowing your hips to open. Lengthen out away from your hips. Engaging those quads, keeping those thighs engaged, strong. Pressing your feet into the floor, spreading your toes. Now lift up. Lower your arms. Now you can no longer see me, so I'll step back. Lift your arms up. Look between your arms. See if you can take a slight back bend without jutting your hips forward. Keeping strong thighs and hips to hold your body. Slight back bend. Bring your hands down. Interlace them behind your back. Taking a deep inhalation to lengthen back, feeling your chest lift. Lift your chest. And your head naturally goes back, keeping the strength in your neck. To get that little back bend. Strong in your thighs, strong in your legs. Lift back up, arms up, and gently fold. Fold in. A few breaths here. Continuing the lifting of your quads, the pressing of your feet, the spreading of your toes, engaged in your muscles. And come out. Come to the top of my mat again. And let's do another back bend. Interlacing your fingers again to lift your chest. Gently back. Lifting your chest. Not going back, but just lifting your chest. Think about lifting your chest. People don't understand what I mean when I say that all the time, and it's really funny. Just do it. Just do it. Just lift your chest. Now come forward. The shoulder blades on your back basically help you lift your chest. Place your hands and step back to plank. Work your shoulder blades on your back body. 1 breath. 2 breaths. 3 breaths. On the 3rd breath, lower yourself into chaturanga. Exhale. Bring your pelvis to the floor and lift up. Bending your elbows to pull your chest through your arms. And press back into downward facing dog. Look at your feet and you can see which foot has a harder time. That is the tighter hip, the one that is wider. Bring your right foot between your hands. Come up into a full lunge. Back foot up on your toes. Lift those toes. Feel strong in your legs, strong in your feet. Make sure that your knee is not jutting in or out, that it's directly above your ankle. Lift up out of the pelvis. Keep that back leg straight as you lift up out of the pelvis. I have a tight quad, so my tendency is to take it out in the pelvis because of the tight quad. So I have to really lift up out of that pelvis while I straighten that back leg. Bring your arms into cactus for 1 breath. And bring your hands down to the floor. Step back into down dog again. One breath in down dog. 2nd breath, as you exhale, bring your left hand between your hands. Left foot between your hands. Come up into standing lunge. Again, feel that back foot lifting. Check your knee placement. Lift up out of the pelvis. I can do this every time in this pose because of my tight quads. So wherever you're tight in your thighs will come out in your lower back. So you have to really work your thighs. because you don't want it to come out of your back. That will hurt your back. That's what happens all the time. Tightness in other parts of your body hurt your back because your back is the one place it can come out of. Bring your arms cactus for one breath and place them on the floor in front of you. Step back into down dog. On the next exhalation, bring your right foot forward again. We're going to come into warrior two. So bring that back foot in alignment with your front heel. And come up into warrior two. Remember that back foot is slightly angled inward to get that inward rotation of the upper thigh, to keep your thighs engaged in the sockets. Feeling that spread of the groin. It feels so good. Breathe into that. Again, keeping your knee directly above your ankle. My knee keeps wanting to go in a little. Something you really need to be aware of because it will hurt your knee over time. And gaze over that front hand. 2 more breaths. And windmill your hands down to the floor. Step back gently. Transition is everything. Lift your hips in the air into down dog. On the next exhalation, bring your left foot between your hands. And place that back foot down at a slight angle directly so that your arch meets the heel of your front foot. And so that your hands measure the distance of your feet so that your stance is wide enough. Your feet should be directly underneath your hands. If they're not, widen your stance or lessen it. It's usually a widening that is required though. Most people don't realize how big they are. Take up that space. Feel that pelvis opening. Now gaze over that front hand. Again, making sure your knee is directly above your ankle. Last exhalation as you windmill your hands down to the floor in front of you. Step back. Firmly pressing your hands into the floor. Now this is where most people are lazy with their hands and they're dumping and they're not engaging their muscles. And this is what causes wrist pain. Look between your hands and jump. Bring your feet together for Utkatasana or fierce pose. Come back so you can see me. Feet together, knees together. Touching the floor with your hands as you come up to keep that bend in your thighs that much. Pelvis should be lower than your chest. With an inhalation, stand up and lower your arms. Good. Now I want to do one more back bend before I end this. So let's start with a bridge, a gentle bridge. So lay down so that you can just touch your feet with your hands. And then lift your pelvis, pressing your palms into the floor to lift up higher. Lifting your chin up away from your chest. Pressing your head into the floor to help do this. Lift your pelvis higher. And now if you want to go deeper, bring your hands next to your shoulders, placing your palms on the floor. With an inhalation, not moving your feet, keeping your feet stationary, parallel. Take an inhalation. Bring your head to the floor. Inhalation. Lift up. Try to take at least 3 breaths here. Feeling it in your arms and legs. Come back down on your head and pull down. Let's do that one more time. Lengthen out your feet so that you get the energy renewed in your legs. And then bend them again. And now touch to see if they're close enough. They are. And make sure that they're parallel and that your feet are not pigeon-toeing out. Actually, I want you to stop and look at your feet. And make sure that they're not pigeon-toeing out. Make sure that they're parallel. Keep them that way. If you need to put a block between them to keep them that way, do that. Now lift your pelvis. Walk your shoulders on your back. Take a deep breath. Now let's go up again into Urdhva Dhanurasana with an inhalation. Come out. Now we're going to do a little Shavasana. So lay back. Feel your pelvis heavy. And bring your shoulder blades onto the floor. So your spine should not be touching the floor. Because it's a rainbow between your pelvis and your shoulder blades. Soften your tongue. Allow it to recede into the back of your throat. Soften your eyeballs. Allow them to recede into the back of your skull and relax. Exhale anything you do not need. Now slowly begin to bring your arms up overhead and stretch your body. Gently turn over to your right side in a fetal position. Using your left hand to push yourself up gently. Allowing your nerves to stay settled as you do it gently. Just sit here for a moment in silence. It feels so good to meditate for a moment. Just be in your own space before you start your day. I bow to the rishis, yogis, and yoginis who came before us with their guidance and grace. Let us end this practice. Sat Nam. Namaste. Thank you for these beautiful blessings, and thank you for this community, and thank you for these wisdom, knowledge that helps us maintain our bodies and our minds in this crazy world. Slowly open your eyes. Have a wonderful day.